We live on the Homes and Homies podcast.
Oh, Beetlejuice
Talking about real estate,
checking in.
trending topics, and other junk.
Which one's this one?
Can you not hear?
Yeah, mine's real loud.
Yeah, because I'm yelling.
Better?
Yeah. It's that high-pitched voice of Mike Littman.
How rude! Rude.
Ouch, my ears.
Just like
Who invited you, anyways? Get off my podcast. Get out of here.
He's in your spot too, Mike.
Dang. He's gonna mess up the mold.
He said, "Where am I going to sit? I'm going to sit in Mike's spot."
It's going to be uncomfortable when you get back. It's going to have all the lumps, the dents in the wrong spot.
The lumps.
Two big ones right in
Too
the middle.
big lumps.
Ken Carter is dead to me.
Uh-oh.
That's because I won't play pickleball with you. We talked about that already.
Yeah.
Because you're an old man. You're old man knee.
I mean, the more he talks, though, the more I kind of.
Hey, I tell you what,
shouldn't.
if you want me to play pickleball with you, I said all you need to do is vote for Kamala Harris, get me socialized medicine, and then I have health care for my knee, and I'll play all the pickleball you want.
That'll solve our problems.
It'll solve.
Just get out there and sell some real estate. Pay for your own knee replacement.
I have like, there's three things I don't like to spend money on: healthcare, clothes, and haircuts.
Should have joined the military.
I'm a dependent brat. I spent too much time as a dependent to join. I went to the recruiter's office and I was like, I'm going to do this.
Oh yeah, so they lost me with you become our property. I'm like, oh, yeah.
That was their pitch.
No, that's what the contract says. I was like,
He probably
the contract. he reads user agreements.
he probably looked John in the eyes and goes, "I own you now."
I almost joined the Air Force, but that guy was a dick. And
Yeah.
so I walked out of the recruiter office, and the Navy guy is like a movie. He's just like leaning on the wall. He had his leg kicked up back, and he's like, "Hey, man, you don't look too happy." And I was like,
you want to be on a ship for a couple years?
With a bunch of guys. You would have looked as relaxed as me.
Do you like traveling? I was like,
No wonder why you want to go to P. Diddy parties.
Oh, come on. You go from Navy to P. Diddy? Goodness
It's
gracious.
not a big leap.
There's probably a lot of baby oil on that ship, too.
I did have a lot of baby oil. But yeah, no, he actually got me with he was like, "You like girls?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're pretty cool." And he's like, "You can meet them all over the world." And I was like, "Let's talk."
Next stop, Thailand.
We're
gonna get some girls.
I was an East Coast guy, so we went to the Med.
And we have a med bay on the boat, so whenever you catch that stuff, like you can take some antibiotics and fix that up.
Yeah.
Where'd you go in the Mediterranean?
So we went to Romania, Bulgaria, Italy, Seychelles,
Wow.
and then a lot of really less fun stuff.
Yeah.
Desert.
My cousin, she was in the Air Force, but she was stationed in Turkey, and she just like
That's a great duty station.
boom, she just popped
Yeah.
off everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I think she's been to 100 different countries.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and she just all these beautiful like locations and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I had a cousin that was stationed in Guam. And I'll tell you what, the golf courses in Guam are pretty nice looking.
Yeah, there's no HEB though, so I wouldn't want to go.
Mike, where were you stationed?
I was the farthest away I got was Fort Benning, Georgia. How exciting was that?
I was stationed in Augusta, my last duty station, so that was I kind of like Georgia. Georgia people don't want to admit this, but you guys are basically Texas Junior. So just go ahead and come to terms with that.
Well, they're going to realize that now that Texas has joined the SEC.
No, yeah, it's true.
It's gonna be an interesting game.
That game's coming up, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Georgia UT 6:30.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
What happened to
I'm
OU?
not a huge. So I hate Georgia. No offense, Georgia. Like the
state or the team?
The team. Yeah, it's like no offense, Georgia.
Just that one person named Georgia. Like that chicken.
So it's like, I mean, like I go down the list of the teams I hate, right? And it's usually the usual ones that you would think, right? It's like
Patriots.
I hate Georgia, I hate Michigan, I hate Ohio State, I hate Alabama, and sometimes I hate LSU.
Yeah, Alabama at number 4. Well, see, I don't hate Alabama. I actually just don't like Alabama fans.
So I hate so like basically the top 5 teams that are pretty much top 5, and Clemson's in there too. Like I hate them, and I love to root against them.
So what you're saying is you are a hater.
He's an
I
That's
just-
exactly what
Number one hater.
Well, so the team I like is A&M, right? Like, because my brothers went there. I went there for a little while. I didn't graduate from there.
So you grew up as a hater,
the
always
biggest
looking up
haters
to UT.
that I know are Aggies.
Of course, they're the little brother.
100%.
So if Georgia's the
God,
little brother
everyone's
to
picking on
Texas,
me.
Aggie is like the
Yeah.
Aggies are like the unwanted cousin around of
until-
Texas.
until
That's
Johnny-
John's morning
until Johnny
affirmation. Is a
football.
list of I hate Georgia, I hate Alabama.
So, but I
today's a good
honestly, I don't really have that big of an opinion about UT.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like to see them do good. I don't necessarily like UT, but like, I like that they're number 1 right now.
Yeah, me too.
And I really, it's weird because it's like I don't root for them a lot of times, but against Oklahoma, I root for them.
Do you know why?
Against Georgia, I'm going to root for them.
Because you got Texan in your blood, boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'll root for the Bobcats too, right? I mean, like the Texas State Bobcats.
What about the
Roadrunners?
Roadrunners?
We're Roadrunner.
I'll root for
I'm
the
a huge
Roadrunners.
Roadrunner fan.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're San Antonians, right? Like,
So did you see? I don't know if you saw. And the only reason I know this, I saw this on a TikTok. But since the first time in like 2023, UTEP, they got their first win.
Oh yeah.
And again, they're Texas. Like I think
Yeah.
they went 357 days without a win.
U of
That's
H
crazy.
could do well, and I'll be happy. Like anything Texas. Like so, what people don't realize.
Go Cougs! Like I mean, like
So when you're
And
when
we're
you're
gonna
in
call
the-
them out. We got to call out Rice because I
Ew.
got a little bit of a connection to Rice.
Texas
My daughter
State
plays
people
for
are
the
kinda-
volleyball team.
Okay. Kinda
We
funny.
got a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
go Rice.
Go Rice.
What's their
They do this like a
Yes.
and then they do this like this. They,
I know somebody that used to do this.
the Cardinals are like
He
this.
talked with a
Cardinals.
very good accent.
So this is the Cardinals. So I'm a UIW alumni.
Oh, okay.
And so it looks like
It looks like you're smoking a cigar.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's like you make like a joint, and then you just like.
You're UIW alum too?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this.
No, I didn't know that you
I'm
were.
yeah, I'm alum. That's crazy.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, brother.
Is it because y'all don't like talk about it a lot?
I don't.
Yeah,
but
it's not
I mean,
really something.
Who
It's
wants
like
to talk about being a nerd?
Yeah, fair enough.
I graduated with my bachelor's from UIW. Then I went to St. Mary's and got my master's.
Oh, you're a little.
No, he's
No, not me.
he's making fun of me.
I did go to college. I went to online college.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, I hit up all those Catholic universities in San Antonio. So
See, I got really smart when I hit 32. And was like,
Wow.
hey,
You're
I'm
early
gonna
bloomer.
change the stat. So I put myself back through school because I actually fell in love with developing software apps. And
Nerd.
and every
They called you a nerd.
Projections, right?
yeah, it's like
Projection. We learned that
Yeah,
in
it's
psychology
like-
101.
I got a BSBA.
F
I'm not that big of a nerd.
It's because you are a nerd. No, but so I fell in love with developing software, and there was just some things that I couldn't actually piece together. So I decided to go back to school so that I could actually finish the software application that I was working on, which ended up turning around and selling to software companies. And
That's cool.
Now that's kind of my side gig aside from real estate is I get some genius ideas and I do some late night activities, get my mindset right, and then go to work. You know.
That's cool. Hey, it only takes the one idea. That's the thing. And I think that's one thing that for sure all of us, but like any realtor and everything, like everybody's an entrepreneur at the beginning.
Oh,
Man,
for
I've
sure.
owned restaurants. Like I've done anything and everything to
Yeah.
try to make a dollar.
Yeah.
It's just easier in real estate sometimes.
We're meant to create.
Yeah.
That's what we're built for.
Well, and
Only 20% of us. The rest of them. And the thing is, and it's something that I think my father-in-law, he said it was like the.
where's the remote?
Mike, did you put us on hold?
What is that? No, I can't get my a word in. You guys are getting at it.
Relaxing vibes.
It's over there by Ken on the
Okay.
top.
Relaxing vibes.
I'm like getting music
I
though.
think James
Are we
is-
getting trolled?
No, the black remote right there. oh, that's great.
I don't go in women's purses or a man's remote.
Ashton?
And then he slides me a white or a blacker.
Hey, I don't see color.
I'm colorblind, so.
Yeah, that was a derail.
But
Hey, back to football though.
That's
real
why.
fast.
That's why I can cut and edit.
Real fast. Army and Navy.
Oh, yeah.
Are you watching this? It's
I
like
just heard about
it's just like a Cinderella story. Figure Gary, you might care a little bit because of the Naval Academy, and then Mike.
Army's going to win, so I mean, what the heck? Who cares?
Is the Army or Navy from Texas?
Go Army.
But they're both undefeated right now, and if Army wins,
which I don't think's happened ever, right?
No, and according to my brother, who's smarter at sports than me, if Army wins this game and then they have a good chance of going undefeated based on their schedule, which would give them a good argument to be in the top 12 for the championship tournament, and which would be crazy to have a service academy. And
I feel like Navy has the same argument too. If they win, you know what I mean? Like. So this is just like
that's cool,
historic, right? Like
yeah.
Army and Navy have never been undefeated. Their whole jam is like they get defeated, like
they lose.
But keeping up with everything, the Air Force is like I think defeated this year.
I
don't think they won again.
I think the only game that I really get excited for, and it's probably stupid, is the UTSA UT game every year now. There's this like a little glimmer of hope sometimes that I see from UTSA where I'm like, in the first quarter we got this, like we're gonna compete, and then by the fourth quarter that's completely depleted, and I'm like, fuck.
Give them some time though. UTSA is working, but they're on a tough.
They'll eventually.
Oh, they're ballers, dude. Like,
well, I mean, they're never. I don't want to say never. It's not going to be for a long time that they're going to be
super good
with just the amount of money, right? Like UT has built a monster, and they got so much funding behind it.
It's so crazy when you watch ESPN or whatever, and they say the Georgia is playing Texas, and then they give their salary caps.
Yeah.
They're like, this is an $18 million team. This is a 24, whatever the numbers are.
Yeah, but you're right. It's ridiculous. And then like UTSA is. They're spending money on their program, but it's not.
Well, I think like 80% of the program are like local homegrown players. So players that have played in like 5A and 6A schools around San Antonio.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and they're going out and still competing, like putting on a good show.
Yeah, I mean, not this year so much.
No. This year we fell apart about in like the beginning of the second quarter.
Well, don't we have
but the year before that,
Josh McCown's kid on the team?
I believe so.
He's slinging the rock out there at UTSA.
I don't know the players. I don't follow that enough. I'm just like rooting for them when we play UT.
Well, I played NCAA football the game this year, so that's the only reason I know that. Okay,
I know they lost to 1-5 Rice.
Did
Rice
they just?
House.
Yeah. That was this past weekend, wasn't it?
That was a past weekend with a last-minute touchdown.
And Rice is a wonderful, wonderful school.
Their football team's that's
right. Yeah, I mean it is. It's a very well respected like.
I don't even know where Rice is.
Academically speaking, it's a good school.
Okay.
So I'll talk a lot
it's like
about
if somebody
Rice.
says they went to the Rice, I'm like, wow, you are one either really smart or really wealthy or maybe both.
Or an athlete like my daughter. There's another way to get there.
I can already see Ken when she was young. Ken's over there spiking balls at her, going, "You're going to Rice."
You can be a 6'2" female. So my daughter plays at volleyball for Rice. She's a freshman there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what I say. Yeah, when she was growing up, I could see Ken over there spiking balls at her.
I used to.
You're going to Rice, damn it!
What's funny is, it's the crime. If you look at Rice, it's a top 10 in the country, whatever. Like the academic,
It's a good school.
The SAT scores, you have to have like 15. You have to have like almost a perfect SAT scores. Everything top 10, whatever. As an athlete coming in,
hey, can we get you at 900? Hey, bring that 900 to 950. You're in.
We need you to put your
1100.
We need you to put your first and last name on the test.
I mean, you have to be some. I mean, you still have to be somewhat. You have to.
Yeah, you can't be.
But
you got to at least answer like 30 questions right.
It's not as rigorous. But that's one of the things about all these schools, like whether Harvard or whatever. It's like it's not about the academics once you're there. It's about getting in. Like once you get in, then it's just another college and everything, and you have all the resources and stuff like that. So she'll be fine.
Harvard's like, you don't got a 4.0, you're out of here.
Mm-hmm. The crazy about those is it's the diversity. There goes so much for the diversity. Like you can have two kids that are like super qualified, but if they're from the same school, they're only going to take one of them.
Right.
And even if the other one is way more qualified than this guy over in Kentucky, because they need somebody from Kentucky. And
Right.
it's like
It's really a gamble whether or not you get in. I have
it's really tough. It's
one
hard.
of my cousins actually goes to Harvard, and she didn't come from money. You know, she's not that side of the family. Yeah, but she's super smart, like really smart. And the way that she got in was the letter that she actually wrote to the school. And they were just so like, appealed by it that they.
Did y'all write letters to get to school?
I went to SNHU and they were like, "Hey, dude, we want you," and it's like apply here, and it was like accepted in less than 10 minutes. So,
No, Incarnate Word is literally like, hey, I love Incarnate Word,
But I don't
like,
think anymore. I think now you
just
have
pay
to,
your bill
every-
on time?
I think everybody has to write letters now, like multiple. Some of my daughter's friends, like even as a
Well, I guess at St. Mary's, I had to write a letter for the MBA program.
essays and stuff.
Yeah.
All the essays
But it wasn't like anything big deal. It was just basically like, hey, this is what I do. This is why I want to come here, and this is what I want to,
for top like UT. Like if you're like a border kind of like, you may have to write 11 or 12 essays to get into college now. Like even as a scholarship athlete, already accepted, she still had to write like 3 or 4 essays.
are there that many kids applying to schools nowadays?
There is.
So do you think there's a transitional shift from trade workers to kids actually going to school and getting educations?
And I think what the shift is the amount of time you're spending in college, because more and more kids are aware of getting like your credits in high school.
Right.
Like I've had 2 of my kids graduated in 3.5 years, 1 graduated in 3 years, and then 1 graduated in 4. So an average of 3.5
Right.
years. When I'm still working on it.
You're like,
But like when we were young,
it took me 12. I mean,
when we were younger,
That's
like
how I know
5,
Josh.
6
He
years,
was
like,
still in high
take
school.
5 years, take 5 years.
Yeah.
And now, because of the cost and everything like that, they're so encouraged to. So they're getting their bachelor's wiped out like an extension of high school almost.
right. I think I got my bachelor's in about 2 3/4 years, somewhere around there, almost 3.
Yeah.
But also like here in San Antonio, it's cool because like the middle schools have dual language, so you could already be getting your dual language credits for high school before you even get to high school. So like in 7th and 8th grade, I was taking Spanish. So by my sophomore year of high school, I didn't need any more foreign language. Like it was
So
done.
they've slowly transitioned. I've watched it because I still have, like, I've been watching the kids.
Yeah.
My 7th grader, she's been in dual language since 1st grade.
Wow.
So she's been taught in English and Spanish since 1st grade. And she's supposedly bilingual. She won't talk to me in Spanish.
Se habla español.
And I want her to teach me. It's like, because there's like for our career and what we do in real estate, especially being in San Antonio, like
That's
it's
half the
something
business.
that's something I try to work on. I try to teach myself, and
I do the
Babel's great.
Duolingo. I'll
He's Babel.
go ham on that for a couple weeks, and then I'll get stumped, and then I'm like, and then I won't do it for a couple weeks.
John's like, yo soy hombre.
My thing now is I hear about all these kids, these people that like learn how to speak, like watching TV and stuff like that. And so I'm a reality show nerd, and so,
So
like,
you
I'm
watch-
watching Las Cincuentas and Las Islas on.
You're watching novellas.
It's
You're
not.
watching
There might as well be novellas because they have all the novella stars in there and stuff like that. But one's like a Spanish version of Survivor, and the other one's like a Spanish version of I don't know, Big Brother. They got 50 people in there,
Sweet.
and there's like, so I have it at like the English on the bottom, and I'm listening to them and trying to. It's a fun way.
There's a lot of private schools around the country that are actually like we do Spanish in Texas. They're actually doing Mandarin as the second language. So now my buddy has like Navy buddy has like 4-year-old and 8-year-old just like talking shit to him in Chinese, and they have no idea what they're saying.
Mike, are you snoring?
No, it's crickets.
I was sweeping.
Oh.
I'll sweep quietly.
It sounded like crickets.
It sounded like. I thought he had put the
got
white
new sound
noise
effects.
machine on. It's like,
You guys are so boring. I'll take a little nap here. Who cares about Mandarin?
Turn those relaxing vibes back up. Hey, who cares? Like in 2 years, your eyeglasses are going to translate it in real time for you, anyways. With AI, it's like,
Dude, the Google Translate stuff's pretty cool. Like you just talk
try
into the
those.
phone and then you turn it around, and it's pretty neat. So, every time we go to Mexico, like the taxi driver, that's how we communicate with them now. Like, that's just like, don't even bother trying to.
Aren't there
Hola de rancha.
earpieces now? Aren't there earpieces now that you could just wear and then it'll translate as somebody speaking
No, that's
to you?
what Kamala wears for the debate.
They speak it.
Fuck, maybe these got canceled again.
We're already on account warning.
So we are on account warning.
So what
the
kind of
second-
coffee is
the
in
second
that cup?
So the second Gary showed up. So we've been doing this podcast for what, 7 months, 8 months?
Yeah.
Like pretty what, Mike? Would you say pretty weekly for about 7 months?
And then Gary shows up.
Gary shows up in August, and we get the month of August. We get 5 flag videos.
What he's not telling you is that viewership went up 14,000%.
It did go up. I mean, we're
People like controversy.
our YouTube channel is spicy.
Hey, I will say, like, this might get y'all a count flag, but like, if you can't have a little bit of freedom of speech, what can you have in this world? I mean,
Oh yeah, no, it's just their thing is we can't like spin it as reality, like that's what they said on their little.
There's some
flag.
people that are doing their controversial topics, but they're also like mocking what they're saying, but they're like saying it, but they're also saying, but I'm totally joking. You know what I mean? And they're actually still getting monetized.
So
and stuff
we
like-
have-
maybe we should just be
I
very
mean,
sarcastic.
YouTube, we have over 100 play hours in the last 28 days.
The second Gary show.
Fire. And we're 128% in subscribers. Gary, is the earth flat around? No, I'm
So Kamala's Google Translate actually translates her, and this is a big joke, total joke. Translates to reptilian. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Reptilian, wow.
No, we gotta cut that. Okay, what is in that coffee? What kind of coffee is that?
It's not Javi.
It's like, I like to call this conspiracy brew.
Here's my conspiracy theory. Here's my. This is one that I thought up late at night while looking at the stars with smoke surrounding me.
With a big old fat Cheech and Chong style joint.
So eventually, we're going to be run by AI, right?
We already are.
It's just going to.
Facts.
But one of the things that humans tend to do is they name things.
Yeah.
We name our car, like, Luna.
Yeah,
I've named all of them.
all of them,
Christine.
right? Because we want to give them some sort of humanity to it and everything like that. So the first thing that we really need to do so we can have an AI is we have to name it, and I feel like we've already named it, and we call
Isn't it called
POTUS.
Hal?
POTUS.
Oh,
It's already named. Everybody's already accepts POTUS as president of the United States.
Right.
It's like who's the leader? Who's tweeting? POTUS is tweeting. So as soon as the AI starts tweeting as POTUS, you don't need to have a human there because
Yeah.
we're tweeting as POTUS, and it's like it's just going to be a seamless transition.
That's true. I haven't seen our current POTUS in the past 4 months.
Where is he?
I
Did you see
he went
Weekend
down
at
to
Bernie's
Florida.
Jimmy Carter?
So he was on the news. He went down to Florida with
Did he go do
He
some-
looked like
Yeah.
the preacher from Exorcist, the old guy who was just like a skull head.
You know the crazy thing is Ken, you bring that up, and right now as we are sitting. I think Mike put us on speaker. Right now.
You're echoing because of speaker, Mike.
sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'm having a Bluetooth fight.
Right now,
I bet you win.
as we
What
are
did you name
sitting
your
at this
Bluetooth?
table,
Kamala.
shooting the Homes and Homies podcast.
John's like, I fucking hate everybody, but I'm laughing.
John is
We're
red.
laughing.
I think John is secretly.
We're having fun.
I think John has a Kamala sign in his yard.
Waltz right in.
We're having fun.
He invited me.
Oh no, I want you to come back every time.
John's the one that initiates the conversation. So we doing this week or not, guys?
He's that guy in school that used to like, hey, that guy wants to fight you. Oh, he does? He goes, come on, guys, there's going to be a fight. Let's go watch.
That's exactly John. That was him in high school. He wasn't the instigator. He was the guy that riled up the crowd to come watch everybody.
That's awesome.
Come here. What am I about to throw it down with somebody over here? Come on. But right now, as we sit at this table talking about AI, there are businesses that literally are in I know mainstream media does this, right? Like where they're leveraging AI to interpret articles and rewrite them. And then there's a whole sequential order that they run that AI through to create them social posts that automatically are posting like every 15 minutes to their social feeds.
That's like the standard for realtors right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say realtors that are killing it. I would say realtors that are trying to leverage AI, but the problem is that like a lot of the blogs that they're still writing, AI is not like fine-tuned, right? Like it still has a lot. I can tell you for a fact right now, I mean, we have HOA on the discussion board over there because I want to talk about HOAs, but I threw a bunch of financials from an HOA board, not going to name names here, into AI. Into AI and let it interpret and tell me where all the discrepancies in our financial budget and our balance sheets were, and it went and found like all the dirt. I mean, it found that this HOA board was $152,000 in deficit over the last year, and that means that we spent like $222,000. Like it literally gave me this long drafted summary, itemized from each category in those balance sheets. I was like, holy shit.
Here's what you need to do, and you need to do what I did when I was in Georgia in my neighborhood. When you find something like that, you run for president, you fire everybody, and then you move.
And they're like, who's our president?
That's a true story.
Hey, that was a libertarian policy. The Libertarian Party's policy for a long time was they would run for elections in these small little areas, and then as soon as the only way to get rid of those positions was to end it. So they would get elected to that position, then they would end the position, and then save the money for the county and stuff or whatever. And it's the same thing.
I grew up libertarian, so that's how I had that mindset. I literally, there was money being hidden. We couldn't get our gate fixed at the front. But the trigger moment was one of the people on the board called the tow truck company, had my girlfriend, or now my wife, had her car towed. And so when they did that,
I think it might be Mike.
Yeah. Not me.
It's probably Mike.
We just have some static.
Oh, do you hear it too?
Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
We'll cut and edit. Continue. So when my now my wife, but when we were dating, when we first started dating,
you don't hear the static?
I
heard it a little bit.
It's the aux cord. Those aux cords will start to static after a minute.
Yeah.
You want to jump off? Am I killing you guys?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're worth the static, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
I can't hear anything.
We're good.
My volume's off now. Sorry.
It's all good.
You just killed Kenny.
You killed Kenny.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny! You bastard!
My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, but one of the neighbors that was on the board had her car towed because there was like the curb that would just not like do this number, but just this, and about a quarter inch of her tire was over the curb. So they had her towed, and that was the moment that and we had elections in like 2 weeks. So I finally went to my first HOA meeting after living there for 3 years, and ran for president. My neighbor ran. I talked to my neighbor and it's like, you should run for VP. Let's fucking do this. Ran for both. We won. And then within a week, I fired the attorney's office that was running that. Had another connect because I was in real estate at that point in Georgia. Got a nice property manager person. That person is still running that to this day. It's 7 years later. But after I moved president, I actually moved from there probably like 3 months later, and then the VP took over, and the rest is history. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to go in there, run that bitch, fire these people, see where the money's going. And then also, plug your real estate a little bit too.
Gary for mayor. Gary for mayor.
Gary for president.
San Antonio is now a flat Earth city.
I'm all for HOA boards because I think they do a lot of good for the neighbors.
I'm sorry, John.
My HOA lives on a flat Earth.
John's like, this is a mistake.
Gary's poor kids, they're probably like, my dad says the earth is flat.
No. Those aren't my kids. No, we don't talk about this kind of stuff.
But I think HOAs are good for communities and neighborhoods, especially here in San Antonio when you have such like a variety of neighborhoods.
No, fuck HOAs. I have an HOA.
I have a great HOA out in Bernie.
I do have an HOA. I have an elective
HOA.
HOA, and I elect to do whatever I want. It is great though,
Yeah.
because I'm like so, and I do like the like we do some stuff every year, right? And they do a neighborhood block party and some other stuff, and I pay the money. It's not much; it's just a couple $100 a year or $100-something bucks a year, but I can build it. I built a house in my backyard. You know what I mean? I just like I don't have to. I redid my front door, and I put some steps in my front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask it for permission.
That's how my HOA is.
I think that the city of San Antonio has certain like standards and codes and everything as
Yeah.
far as keeping your house this way and that way and everything like
Yeah.
that. I was like, and beyond that, like I don't need another level of like dictatorship
Right.
on top of me.
No,
Like,
for
I
sure.
don't need an. I don't need.
But
an
think
HOA.
about all the communities that we sell homes in that are HOA. Like San Antonio is flooded with HOAs.
Yeah.
flooded.
And I have very
It's
mixed.
Ray Ellison's favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I have very mixed feelings about all the San Antonio code stuff too.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
because so I think it's important to have codes, especially if you're like for what you're doing, right? When you're flipping these houses, like
Yeah.
I mean, you're selling it to people. So definitely yes, but like
There's gotta be
my
standards.
motherfucking house, I should be able to do whatever I want to it.
For sure.
And that bothers me when I'm like, okay, so the code says no, and you're just like. What? Like, but it's my house. I want to do this, and they're like, yeah, you can't. And I'm like,
Some of them are a little bit arbitrary, but at the same time, there's ways to resolve that. They have the board of adjusters. Like we had a duplex we were building, and we didn't have enough setback in the back. We didn't have so for multifamily San Antonio, like you had to have a 50-foot effective front. We only had a 41-foot.
Wow.
And so we went and talked to the board of adjusters. Like, look, we're building affordable housing in an area that doesn't have great affordable housing. We're doing this and this and everything. They're like, hey, that's awesome. Let's do it. We don't have to abide by that one. So I think that we have
So
reasonable people, and that's a part. And this goes back to like I'm not a huge like voter in federal elections because they're all reptilian people, as we've heard sarcastically.
Just kidding.
But
Just kidding.
locally,
TikTok, just kidding. Just kidding. It's not true.
But locally,
Everybody
like,
knows they're really great humans.
I think locally, like going and talking to the city and everything, like we have reasonable people within our city, but also vote locally for sure and put the people in place that you want for mayor. Like there's a guy that's running for mayor right now, and that is for developing more urban community and more walkability within the city. I mean, these are the things that we need to be voting for and going.
Dude,
towards.
that's my elevator pitch to people that always say, well, I don't vote because it's all fixed anyways. Maybe. But definitely not, I mean.
Downtown, I know the guy.
But the
and
point,
Nelson Wilf will get whatever he wants.
But that's what I'm saying. The point is, like, you need to tell these people that have that, like, script in their brain, like, fixed in there, like, hey, well, okay, cool. Well, don't forget about your city councils. Don't forget about your local elections. Don't forget about even your HOAs. Yeah. Like, show up. Well, even just that local election.
We got a city councilman in this town that says no to every new project first. And then we'll go back and say, okay, and relook at it. But they just reject everything to start with. Like, they shouldn't be in city council. Like, we shouldn't be impeding progress. Huh?
To the rejects.
Yeah.
They rejected. They wanted to kick. Didn't they want to? Our mayor want to kick Chick-fil-A out of the San Antonio International Airport because they weren't open on Sundays?
Yep.
That sounds like a. Never mind.
So don't vote for him. I know he can't run again.
He's out. Yeah, he's done.
Good.
He crazy that he lasted 4 terms. Actually, I think he's been around for a while.
Who was before him? I forget.
Ivy.
The guy with
Ivy.
Mayor Ivy.
And then before there was that guy. I can't remember his last name. Started with an H.
He was
I can't remember. I just remember Ivy.
Henry.
Because I was
no.
I was not living like so. I'm from here, but for about 10 years I was out of
state.
No,
city.
just
What about
different places. Yeah.
Joaquin.
Working in oil fields.
I did.
John lived in a man camp.
That's the great thing about Texas. We also have shit nowhere.
Oh yeah, shit nowhere. It's like Midland's called Midland because it's land in the middle of nowhere.
But Midland is also.
But it is kind of cool though
country.
because you can literally stand on a drilling rig and be like, oh hey, there's like 5 tornadoes over there. Like, oh, I hope it doesn't come this way.
Not scary at all.
But they always go that way.
Yeah, they usually do.
They go in between Dallas and Waco.
But it is funny because it's so flat you can just like see for miles. And you're
So
just
wait,
like,
what's flat?
How many miles?
The Earth.
The Earth is
All
flat.
right, good segue. So, can somebody tell me about Coffee Talk? What is Coffee Talk?
So Coffee Talk, there's this trend going on TikTok where people are leveraging the hashtag Coffee Talk because they are just sharing their fall recipes of coffee.
oh, I'm so basic.
And
I'm so
what
classic
they,
basic.
what they put
Ground in
into
water?
it.
about this.
So this episode is sponsored by Rise Mushroom Coffee. We actually tried
yeah.
Rise Mushroom Coffee the other day. I've been drinking it for about 3 to 4 days now. I
you
can
feel balanced?
definitely tell the difference in like focus and clarity. I mean, I'm not a huge mushroom guy, so I just counter, like, it says on the bag, add your favorite creamer. I hate mushrooms. I can't stand them. They taste like shit, like dirt.
Yep.
But yeah, it tells you, like, my clarity's there. Like, I could actually focus. It's a little bit better. I'm drinking a coffee now, so I'm kind of wired. But
Yeah.
coffee on coffee doesn't do good. Like, but it does have a lot of health benefits to it that I don't really want to go too far into. But overall, Rise Coffee, I like it. I like the mushroom coffee. I'll continue to drink it. But that's the fad right now is Coffee Talk. People just giving out their recipes
So,
because it's fall.
what kind of creamer are you using with your Rise that you think's actually going pretty well with it?
I use vanilla creamer.
Well, that's very creative.
It's a vanilla creamer, but I also put a.
Isn't it
I put
crazy
a
that
dash-
vanilla is like for like plain, but it's an actual flavor.
It's only good. I mean, it's only good in ice cream.
It's a flavor.
Yeah, and then I put a little dash of honey in there.
Ooh,
And
dangerous.
it's delicious. It's like the best thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it tastes almost similar to this. You could throw some like pumpkin seasoning into there if you want.
I'm a pumpkin fan.
I mean, right now it's pumpkin season, right? We're in
I
fall,
like,
so
I like my coffee like my women strong, black, mean, and bitter. So, like,
That's so hot.
I'm telling you
I don't
what.
like mine as bitter as that. It's like,
Mike's like, I don't drink coffee. There's too many carbs.
I took my dad to. I took
I
my,
can't like coffee.
we went to this little coffee shop in Houston that's got like great coffee. Like
Yeah.
it's like a really good coffee, nice and like balanced and fruity and everything that you're getting from a good coffee. And my dad takes one drink. He's like, "No, I can't drink this. I need some Folgers." I was like, "Dad, this is really
need that
good." He goes, it's got
Colombian
this
Bam
flavor
Bam.
that I just don't
Yeah.
like. I'm like, "What? Good?"
So when we lived in I lived in Washington State for about 6 years because I worked in tech,
Yep.
and we just became super coffee snobs.
Yeah.
I'll just put it this way: like the coffee up there, like you will
So I
look
think
at a Starbucks and
I
just
think
go,
that's a thing when you move up to Washington State. 'Cause
sure.
my brother, he when he came back here, I was just like, "Hey, you want some Starbucks?" He's like, "That's garbage," and I'm like.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like I'll drink Folgers, I'll drink Maxwell House, I'll drink Starbucks. Like give me some coffee, and I like it black, and I'm just like I don't care. I'm drinking it kind of for the flavor, but mainly for like the caffeine.
It's like beer. Like when you're growing up, you don't like beer, but then you're like, "Oh, this is I like an IPA now."
Yeah.
pain.
So where we lived, there was 2 coffee shops that we would always go to. One was a little bit closer to us than the other, so just depending on where I was on the side of town. There's a place called the Crazy Beagle, and this is their plug. If you're in Liberty Lake, Washington, you know what I'm talking about. Crazy Beagle. The girls have that coffee on point, and a lot of the money that they actually raise goes right to the veterinarian because it's a little drive-through in the parking lot for a vet. So
That's cool.
Pretty good cause, but the coffee there, it's Doma Coffee Roast. So if you're looking for a good roast, Doma is the way to go. They are based out of Idaho. That's what we order. That's what we have at the house for the Keurig.
You are a plug machine.
That coffee
I do
will
like
have you
I
on
do
the
like
moon.
Idaho's potatoes.
Yeah.
I used to live in Idaho. Idaho's great.
I-
Like a Mountain Home Air Force Base.
So
Dude, it is
Doma.
gorgeous. I didn't know it was.
Beautiful. I lived
Yeah.
there. My 7th, 8th, and 9th grade was the best years of my life.
So Doma makes a whiskey aged coffee. So they roast their beans in aged whiskey barrels.
It sounds like you're saying domas. Like
Doma. D-O-M-A.
The rice
Doma.
grape leaves. You know,
Yeah.
I like those things.
Domas. But then the other place, the Garden, they're in Spokane Valley, Washington, which is probably like just 5 miles the opposite direction. They have the best avocado egg sandwich you'll ever have. They put Brussels sprouts on it. It comes with a fried egg with avocado, and then they put sriracha on it. And it's like the best breakfast with the nice blend of coffee. But coming back to San Antonio, people are
what's
like,
your
let's go to Starbucks. I'm like, no, Starbucks gives me the shits and it's trash.
What's your favorite coffee shop in San Antonio? Then?
So favorite coffee shop here in San Antonio, Brevity Coffee. Gonna give the girls
Brevity?
give a girls a plug. That is the closest coffee you're gonna get to what you will have in Washington.
Interesting.
Commonwealth.
It's a
K-Cup.
So I
Do you have a favorite?
Commonwealth by UIW.
Yeah. They're good. They're real good. For me, Theory, the food right there.
Dude, I love it. They have
they're wild. They use Wild Gift out of Austin as their roaster, and that shit it's got that little bit of fruitiness. My daughter likes Brevity. They're good guys over there. But
is that the one that was like a food truck almost right there
by Naco 410?
Yeah,
which I learned later, Naco, what it means. It means in Spanish, he's got the Naco food truck, the Naco 410. He's got a place over in Los Patios, and then he's got another one over at the Yacht Club. And Naco though means like gross or not gross or I don't even know how to explain it. It's like,
see what I've found,
like a dirty guy or something like that.
So what I've found with the coffee here in San Antonio is there are a lot of great coffee shops. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of really great coffee shops. But when you look at the overall aspect of coffee, it's about consistency, right? And I've been to Coffee Crush. I love Moises over there. Great guy. Coffee is awesome. I will drink their coffee. Their coffee is it's still way better than Starbucks, right? Like, I'm not going to go to Starbucks and get a coffee. I'm going to go to Coffee Crush, or I'm going to go to Brevity, just depending on what I'm feeling.
Do you get lattes and stuff like that? Or
so this is a pumpkin pie latte.
So you're not getting coffee.
Pumpkin pie latte.
I thought we were talking about coffee.
You're drinking a dessert, bro.
Yeah.
No sugar, no cream.
But when you, I'm saying consistency, the roast.
That's like you can't compare coffee to that.
So that is coffee.
I'm drinking pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. If you want to compare apples to apples, Brevity still has a better dark roast, because I will drink a dark roast
I don't
straight
drink dark roast.
with
dark roast burns all the caffeine out of it.
Yeah.
With no creamer.
I'm a blonde or medium.
Flavor.
Yeah.
But the problem is consistency with coffee shops, right? Like, you can go to one coffee shop and it's amazing. You go to another coffee shop, or you go back to that same coffee shop, the coffee tastes burnt. It's all about consistency and how they clean the machines.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I go to Merit. I go to Press.
I do not care.
I go to
not
Milo.
care.
I
go
like
to
Merit.
Theory.
Merit is.
I go to all of. I go to my local, the original one down there.
I like iced coffee.
Have you been to Press?
Not for Merit though. Man, there's just something about that iced coffee. I'm like, I do not care.
I don't find any of them inconsistent at all. They say every single time, I get the same coffee. But I don't drink stuff that has all the additives, the sugar. This person,
that's too much.
Like my daughter, she goes and she's like, "Oh, they put too much cream in it." Well, there's a variable there. But the coffee, if you just talk about the coffee, I'll pit Theory Coffee with Wild Gift Roasters up against anybody.
I wouldn't.
Indie Coffee on UTSA Boulevard, the Leeds, I'll pit them up against anybody. Press Coffee, Mila Coffee, I'll pit them up.
Yeah, and so my palate's not that sophisticated.
But I'm all things
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my palate's sophisticated.
My palate's not sophisticated enough. I've drank the Theory.
I had the original COVID. I lost my sense of taste, so my palate sucks.
I'm going to be honest.
I got the OG COVID.
I'm going to be honest. You give me a cup of black Starbucks coffee,
it's gross.
I'll drink it.
The only one I like is their blonde roast.
But where the Pikes play, I don't care.
If you like a coffee that'll send you to the hospital,
Javi.
besides Javi, Black Rifle.
Oh, Ken hasn't tried Javi yet.
I don't know where Javi is.
We have Javi in the refrigerator.
That stuff is the devil.
death.
See, in Black Rifle, it's consistent. For me, it's a little bit darker than I like.
Yeah.
Like, it's a heavier roast.
I
but that goes
one and I started having
that goes to people wanting to try to get that consistency. They just burn it.
Yeah.
Well,
Instead of being fine-tuning and get a good roast, they just, we'll just over-roast it. And that's why Starbucks is really dark and roasted, because it's easier to burn consistently than to make good consistency.
See, so we talked to a...
it's just an argument.
We talked
I think you're spot on. My taste buds aren't good enough to be like...
I might know.
So before all these shops started...
He's like, cool, coffee? Thanks, I needed some.
Before all these shops started opening, that was one of the ventures that we were going to go down is the coffee venture, because we were going to start a coffee truck, start doing pop-ups, try and build into that brick and mortar. So we actually know a coffee roaster, right? Mm-hmm. So we started, and we were going to bring them in from Washington. We started that mutual agreement, the NDA, all that stuff going down. And
you should get you should totally
the
get a
biggest
monkey.
thing, like I'm saying, is consistency.
It's a hard thing.
Even with regular coffee, people
You know
still
where I'm
burn
going
it.
with this, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yes, of course.
You should get a monkey, have him eat the beans, shit them out, and charge like $150 a pound.
Did you ever
Man, what
go to-
is this stuff? I don't know, man. It's dog shit. Or
you-
smoking dog.
It's like the most expensive coffee in the world.
Yeah,
is the monkeys eating it.
I don't
and
think
they
it's. I thought it was goats.
Goats.
Is
It's
it goats?
I think
Yeah.
it is.
All I know is that they
It's an
pull it
animal.
out of
I mean,
somebody's
because
shit.
like, I'd rather eat goat shit than monkey shit.
Yeah. It's bold. Also bold.
It blows my mind though. It's literally like we just picked this out of some shit. Let's charge $150 a pound.
Why the preference?
I mean, if Cheech and Chong can do it, why can't they? But no, we went down that avenue, and that was like one of the biggest like conversations that we had was the fact that like there is a lot in the to the coffee. Even making a regular pot of coffee, it's easy to burn it.
Yeah.
It's also easy to mess it up if you're not like consistently descaling your machines and getting all the sediment buildup out of the water, using filtered water instead of like mineral based water.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot in that coffee, and that's why I say when it comes to consistency, I think Brevity has it even with the regular coffee because those machines are super. I've never had a bad coffee there. Everywhere else in San Antonio, I haven't tried everywhere, so I'm not going to speak to it, but everywhere else I've gone, it's been hit or miss.
Best coffee I ever had came from a Kangen machine. You've never had Kangen water. It is,
Conga?
yeah. So it's
I thought he said condom machine at first. I'm like,
Kangen.
Interesting.
So it's a what is it? It adds
It's a
makes it more
Kangen machine.
Kangen.
Yeah.
So it makes it more bioavailable
pH
to your cells because
You pH balance the water.
Yeah, pH balance the water, and then you also add a little bit of hydrogen power to it, basically. So the water is a lot more bioavailable to your cells. So when you add that to like your coffee machine and you slam it, I've never been more fired up without like the panic or whatever. It's just a nice, good, clean
Yeah.
Coke binge.
Well, you see, and that's why I say like the coffee.
I get that from slow release Adderall.
I go a little cross-eyed for a little while.
for John. This is what I live for on a Wednesday.
No way! It was just so funny. Like a couple weeks ago, Gary was like, literally talking about like church and religion, and then he's just like, "Yeah, then we started getting some drugs from the taxi driver," and I'm like, "What?"
I'm a transformed man. Bro. I lived in darkness. All right.
He's a transpose.
That is a thing in
He was
Washington.
literally talking about Saturday night. I'm like, "What?"
The Uber drivers in Washington.
Years ago.
It's a weekly transformation.
The Uber drivers in Washington, you get in their cars and they're like, "What kind of Maui Wowie you want today, man?" And they like roll out.
You're talking about the Uber driver that had the stuff. Yeah, fair enough. All right. It was just a little bud. It was just a
here,
little
try
bud.
it.
It was just bud, dude.
Dude, I was
Austin.
in Kansas City with my daughter when she was 17 at the time, and we got into Uber, and there's like this little Tupperware thing, one of the small ones, and I looked down, I picked it up, and there's the fattest like
little
one,
nugget.
and I was like, I looked at
Little chicken nugget.
I was like, this is like. I'm not gonna be able to pocket this.
Here you go, sir.
Well, she saw it. No, I'm just kidding.
Here's a tip.
What is
I was
this?
like, I think you left this in the back. She goes, "Oh, it's not mine." I'm like, okay.
I think of Cheech and Chong every time we talk about that.
It was about that fat.
Try
It was
this,
crazy.
man. I got some stuff
It was.
that'll knock
It
your
looked
socks.
like it was one like this big with like that big around. It was
Oh,
just
shit.
like that much because it was like it was a
Some of my
fatty,
most fun stories are Uber stories. All right, let's rapid fire because I got 2 minutes till my next appointment. Well, it actually started 6 minutes
So
ago. But
let's wrap it on San Antonio restaurants since we have Ken.
Ken,
Mr.
the all
Ken,
things San Antonio.
That is.
Carter.
San Antonio restaurants, top 10. Go.
Top 10.
Holy smokes!
Well, let's
Top
do
5. Top 5.
Dude,
I
that's
have
so
to give all
hard.
5, or
Top-
we're gonna
that's
all
so
go-
hard.
so
It's
many.
really hard.
Top
You can't
three.
just
So
say-
here's
Top-
some of my here's
Yes,
some ones
faves.
that I've
Top
been to
faves.
recently that I think is really good.
Okay, hold on. So
I'm a
let's
big fan of
benchmark this. Hold on. Ken, what are your top 5 favorite overall restaurants here in San Antonio?
I would say I don't know if top 5 overall, but
Yeah,
for
it's
sure,
so
I love La Gloria. I always shout out La Gloria because I think that it's just such a great time. Everything around the food court. I don't know if you've been to the Freight Chicken at the food hall at the Pearl.
So good. That's my favorite fried chicken in San Antonio.
And it's gluten friendly. It's not gluten free, which I used to, but it's gluten friendly. And they've got hot sauce. They got the sides are like
biscuits are nice and fluff.
Corn. It's amazing. So
it's like you're biting into John Hanson.
Everything at the food hall there is great. The especially like now just at the Pearl, the Pullman Market. We went to there's a Mezquite or something like that. I think it's what there's a Mexican restaurant there. I went with my daughter. Great drinks, great margaritas.
That's number 3.
I'm just naming some places right now. The whatchamacallit, my kids really love the Tigre de Leche over there in Southtown.
Nailed it.
For like off the wall pizza, everybody thinks it's about dough pizzeria and stuff like that.
Not a huge fan.
I think the better one is Brick or Stella at Brick. I think they do a better pizza. They have one that's called the Bee Sting that has serranos and honey and like sopressata and everything on it. It's like
you know what I've been
phenomenal
grabbing
arugula and stuff on it.
Guys, seriously, one of the best pizza places that I've actually had. This is a total sleeper gem. Tap and Rack.
Tap and Rack.
They just opened up that pizza. Oh my goodness! Like better than dough.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And dough's great. And
dough's great.
And you know what's funny? Here's something I always love to. This is a little bit of backstory. I met the owner of Dough when I had a dry cleaners, and he was looking at the spot next door to open up a place, a little pizza, like a sandwich shop or whatever.
Yeah.
His name is Doug Horn. Doug H. That's where Dough comes from. It's his name.
Clever bastard.
Isn't that
that's pretty slick.
Things it's written.
People should know. Like I think that's one of those things like everybody should know. It's like his name is Doug H.
I
His
saw
name
this
is
in
Dough.
Revelations.
Yeah.
You know it's the end of days. Doug H is manifested.
Yeah.
But yeah, great restaurant. He's a good. They're great stewards with San Antonio too. They're good people. But
it's awesome.
So there's some of the places, and for sure, Theory Coffee.
Yeah.
I love it.
John, what are your top 2 favorite barbecue joints here in San Antonio?
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know about around San Antonio area, like we'll go Cooper's. Because I like how they do it.
2M.
Pinkertons.
I love Pinkertons.
Yeah. The best.
Big fan.
Yeah.
It's the best.
But I don't even speak on barbecue in San Antonio because Terry Black's I'm just obsessed with. Like if you've had Terry Black's, like how do you go back?
I like Pinkerton. As far as restaurant barbecue places I've ever been to, Pinkerton's is number 1.
My favorite pork ribs for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I thought Blanco Barbecue was pretty good. I don't know that it's like the best, but
so I can eat at Blanco Barbecue. It's good.
Yeah.
I can eat at Smoky Moe's. I can eat it, but it's not like I'm having a.
You don't make that.
You're not
angry
having an
face.
orgasm in your
that's
mouth.
That's my thing. Like if it's too good, I'm making angry face. I'm like,
You're not humming.
Here's the thing.
HEB, honestly,
Texas
It's
barbecue
great.
is good.
HEB is pretty fucking good. I'm not joking.
They got it nailed
really good
too.
brisket.
Yeah. You walk into the like
But that's HEB. Everything they do, they're not going to put out a bad product.
You walk into the produce section and you're like, gosh, they're gonna get me, aren't they?
Yep.
You got to go buy a
Shout out Harry
brisket.
Butt, you are the man.
I'll tell you what I can eat, like because I'm a pretty easy.
I eat it.
Charlie Butt runs it.
Charlie Butt.
Chuck Butt.
No, I can't eat Rudy's, man.
Oh
I just
yeah.
I used to work there.
I can't do it anymore. Like it just. Years ago, it really wasn't that bad. But just in the last
evolved.
5-6 years,
We've evolved.
Either that, last 5-6 years, unedible. Like every single time somebody's like, "That's from Rudy's." It's like, so used to like, oh, that's a joke. Worst barbecue, and it's like, no, it's bad.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't even give that to the homeless person, honestly.
I'd rather eat Bill Miller's brisket.
Oh,
and I'm not throwing shade on Bill Miller's brisket. It's just it's not like it's a fast food.
Bill Miller's is great.
Yeah,
But
Bill Miller's is the Taco Cabana of
Rudy's
barbecue.
Yeah.
And people sleep. If you put Taco Cabana in every other state besides Texas, it's going to be the best Mexican food.
It's
so
out of
California
Cabana,
being.
though.
Well, yeah, because you've had it your entire life. You were
let's give them
eating
Las
that in the womb.
Palapas. If we're going to give them a Mexican restaurant, let's give them Las Palapas. Not that.
I was gonna say like it's crazy how like we've evolved in San Antonio, like our restaurants, like that as a child growing up, the place my parents always used to take me to was the original Tomatillos down off of off of Broadway.
Yeah.
And that was like the Mexican joint to go to.
They just closed Acadiana. That was the Cajun place to go to forever.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
My dad used to love that place.
Dude, I'll tell you where I'll go for gumbo.
Tomatillos. I've heard that.
This might be like a little like controversial, but Willie's.
Willie's,
Their fucking
yeah.
gumbo is good.
Yes, dude. Willie's.
Their gumbo
Willie's
is just
everything.
as good.
Willie's everything is
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
I always forget about their burgers
That's like the
too.
one
I'm
place
like,
I'm guaranteed to get the fish.
So-
like I don't get fish anywhere.
But
that
their
redfish,
their
oh my
gumbo
gosh.
is better
Good
than
enough
a
as
lot of
catfish.
gumbos
Yeah.
in New
Yeah.
Orleans. Because I
Can't do catfish.
My
Tastes
wife
like
and I went on
old
this.
lake.
Tastes like dog.
We went on this quest in New Orleans for like to find the best gumbo, and we went to so many places in New Orleans for like
Yeah.
and we got gumbo at every meal, like just the samplers. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Willie's is just as good as
It is,
this.
man.
that's the
is.
crazy part too. Is like I love the fried catfish at Willie's. Like I'll go get extra lemon, put that lemon juice on it, get some of the dressing that they have, and it's delicious. With the fries, Willie's is good. And I always forget about their burgers too, because their burgers are pretty high up there on my rank when it comes to a good burger.
Fried fish at Sea Island all day, baby.
Laguna Madre.
I don't hate them.
Bill Miller's again. Those sneaky dogs, they got me.
Hey, that's what I ate last night for dinner. No, Bill Miller's.
Well, the Fishity Grill used to be really good though too.
Mike Litwin, are you still with us?
I think we lost
No,
him.
that's when we lost the static.
Oh, okay.
That's when things got better.
So Gary's got to wrap it up. We could talk about food all day, but we want to thank
sure.
Ken, Mr. Ken from All Things San Antonio, joining us today.
Ken, the All Things Santonio Carter.
That's
Thank
right.
you for coming.
Except for Theory Coffee. He likes Theory Coffee.
I love it.
Just kidding. I haven't
If you
tried
like
it.
the hospital
I'm actually gonna have
with
to
your
go try
coffee, go
Theory
to Black
Coffee.
Rifle.
Just like they just get a black coffee.
We should do like a coffee
A coffee off?
coffee off.
The only one I know of, though,
Cough
is like
off.
right there on Harry Wurzbach, basically.
A coffee off?
410 and
Yeah.
it's
I don't
410
know, we can go-
It's 410 Nacogdoches.
John, we
Okay.
should organize
Yeah.
a coffee pour off. You know how everybody does like michelada pour offs? Let's
Yeah.
do a coffee
No,
pour
let's go
off.
with michelada. I love it.
I got me. Well, you missed
Michelada.
the good pour off. Then University Title put
I
on a
can't
pretty
wait to
good
try
pour
a
off.
michelada.
So we're doing micheladas next week.
No diddy.
No diddy.
Pause.
But you've been listening to the Homes and Homies podcast. Join us next week
Thank y'all
for
for
another
checking in.
podcast.
That's right.
Coming in